things a little different. Don't like recording myself, so you may see an image of me, but you should see a picture of St. Augustine in Florida. So today I want to kind of go over some things that I've kind of learned uh, from the midterm aspect, things that I have that I needed to upload. But I wanted to really show the differences in some of the churches just here in the States, not really going back too far back in different churches that you would see if you were to travel the world or whatnot. So I wanted to kind of show some churches here that maybe something that you could possibly visit and see the different types of churches, even throughout the time that we think the liturgy is just present for today, like understanding that the liturgy is constant, throughout time and everything, it stays consistent, which is a big thing that we need to understand. It's kind of a theme that you see inside Catholicism and inside our faith. And the liturgy is the prime basis where that how the importance is, and I'll talk later about that, like how the importance of the consistency and what you're seeing. You will see some changes throughout it. So one of the ones that I pulled up first is one of the first churches in the United States as a Catholic church that it's called the Cathedral, the Basilica St. Augustine. So here are some images of it. As you can see, obviously the biggest thing that we talk about in consistency is seeing the images, seeing the altar in the front. Mind you, at the time when this was built, uh, way before Vatican II. So a lot of changes that we've been discussed to see inside Vatican II that would change. So you may see the railing in the front, the way that Eucharist would have been received at the beginning. And so I think this one I have some more images here. No, that one doesn't have it. Um, so you can kind of see the architectural aspect from it. The real big, again, the fact of having the altar in there and the images, and you see the importance of the imagery inside there. I thought I had some more picture. Here you go. So a lot more from the outside of it. Um, the importance that it plays inside being one of the first cathedrals. Oh, so I did pull another one. This is actually St. John's, but this is a European church. It's going to be a lot different. So this is way before what we would know and what we encounter today, Vatican II. So at that time, the priests are the ones who knew the word. So it's going to be different. Where the chair is the symbol of where the word come from. But this is St. John's. I believe it's in. I don't want to say what, because yeah, so it's in the Diocese of Rome. Um, so if you go, we'll go from back to St. Augustine's inside Florida, and then let me move this one over. So I actually have some pictures from Facebook, but I found a cathedral that was just taken over. See if I can move this out of the way. So I wanted to show. Let's see if I can find it. So right now, I'm going to show two different ones. So the one now, this is images that I found from Facebook. And this is what in the United States is the largest church in the United States. It's in Fresno, California, St. Charles. It's a Good Shepherd Catholic Parish. But this is some of the imagery of the architectural design, like whenever they went and started developing it. How they started in 2021, which is really cool because I looked at a lot of this whenever it was being done, because I was able to be a part of the building committee for when we were able to rebuild a chapel here in Divine. So they started around the same time we did, a lot bigger, obviously, than our small day chapel. But being able to see the imageries that they have, and it's currently now is the largest Catholic church in the United States. The funding that it took to get it done, you can kind of see just the paintings that were done, the tabernacle, the stonework that's done for the tabernacle, the stations of the cross, all hand painted, which is really amazing, and where everything is at. So you can kind of see this one as an overview, a top bird's eye view when you would walk in. So the baptismal font is when you'd walk in. You have all the seating here in the back and then the seating around. This one you'll have a little bit different where they'd come up to the front. Um, I wonder if this numbers show a little bit more. There you go. Yeah. So you'd have the altar key in the middle. So here you have your ambo. They have another baptismal font is here. And then you have the presiders, the deacon chair. So again, where people are sitting, if there's any, it's pretty cool that they have designated guest visitors sitting. Again, this has the more of the modern day touch to it versus what we saw with the St. Augustine's church in Florida. But I really like how it has some of the stuff denoted. So the stations across go along the back of the wall. A lot of different imagery along the back of the wall, understanding which each individual is. So it kind of also replicates some of the old styles where you can go into different corners and they would have smaller chapels built in to the large church. Um, so it's pretty cool. But I was able to find this person on Facebook. They went to go visit it after it's being completed already. And man, the imagery and just the way it is, it's so beautiful to see. Here's the outside of the church and the family again. And I'll link there. They have public pictures, so I appreciate them making public so I could actually see them a lot better. So you see in the back of the tabernacle, look at the stonework. And these are a bunch of saints that are pictured on there with the angels, with the crucifix, and then again the altar straight in the middle. So you see again the modern touches into it, but still going back to again like staying consistent with what we have. So besides this being, here's some information from talking about how many people can actually sit in there. So it's a 34,000 square foot um, church. That's the largest parish in the United States. So, which is really cool. The amount of time you can hold 14,000 parishioners from the region that it says it's going to serve. So, really amazing. Shout out to the priests and the deacons and all the lay people that will be involved there liturgically. So, the other one that I wanted to show that some people may or may not have known that it's called Christ Cathedral. It's in the Diocese of Orange again. This is again in another church in California. Here's some of the imagery. So it was I think from what I understand, it was an old place of worship that was utilized for like a non-denomination, and then the diocese took it over. And it's pretty cool as I found this little, you may hear some music in the background, but has a little 3D view of the campus. I want to go straight to the cathedral, so I wanted to see just straight going to the altar. So again, the imagery may be a little different for you. Hopefully you can see it, but seeing where the altar is, and then they talk about the tons of the renovation that truly had to be done to make sure that even though it is modern, as you can tell, I mean, completely different than what we're used to, but keeping the same touches that needed to be in there to be consistent, to be utilized for our Mass. When you're walking and seeing the altar still being in the center, they have some little video things. I don't know what they are, so check it out. So you have a...
Behind me is our beautiful crucifix hanging over the altar of Christ Cathedral. We call our crucifix the Crux Gemata. Why? Because it is fashioned after a medieval crucifix which had precious stones or gems embedded in the cross itself. What is unique about this particular style is that the crossbars are of equal length. And so we took an ancient art form and tried to make it contemporary. Jesus hanging on the cross is hanging there with a kind of peaceful look on his face, and his feet are not crossed this way as they typically are, but rather flat on the pedestal. And that again is part of the style, because we want to represent Jesus both in his death and resurrection. He's wearing a crown of thorns, but then also above him is a crown with the precious stones. Then on each end of the crossbars is, it looks like a Chi-Rho, which is a symbol of Jesus Christ in Greek. And then on the end of the other crossbars is the Alpha and the Omega, because Jesus is known as the Alpha and the Omega. The crucifix hanging over the altar here definitely places the altar as the centerpiece of Christ's cathedral.
So that's pretty cool. So I'll link this little virtual tour so you can go and check it out for yourself to learn more about this um, cathedral that they just converted over. They have tons of videos as you just saw. Gives a little bit more in-depth things that I really couldn't give you because I've never been there, but I did notice it whenever it was coming to effect. It's kind of a big thing to, and it's always nice to just to see as our church continues to grow, as like we talk about, just still being consistent. As the biggest thing is keeping everything relevant to what our teachings are, and even though being, as even that priest just said, the contemporary aspects of the art forms that we're looking for. Um, but it's pretty neat just to see how we continue to grow in our modern era, but still staying focused on where we need to be. Um, so it's kind of some of the cool things that I've been able to notice that inside our church. So hopefully this video is a little different. Didn't use my parish in Divine, even though I love my parish in my small town, but being able to see some of these places and visit some of these places would be really cool. So thank you and look for the next one.